I am a complex human person, Miss Jade Domingo.
And this is your frustrated fashionista, Miss Kesh Medilo.
And this is Ambassadors, Candid Conversations. And it's finally happening.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I feel like we've been talking about this and planning it for quite some time, and it's just I'm just so happy. It's just such a happy experience to finally be doing this with you. And let's just introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
But first, how have you been?
Wow. Are we going to talk about it?
Is that a loaded question, and are you offended by that?
Yes. Like what we said, we're just trying to make it to Fridays. And today is Fridays.
Yes, at the time of recording this, it is Friday. And I am currently in a scheduling war with the defense. But yeah, I'm glad we finally had time for this, and we finally, because it's been moved. We were supposed to have the first episode out the last week of November.
Yes. Yeah.
And then things happened.
Yeah.
Because we work in a...
But it's okay.
Yeah.
We have the luxury of time.
Yes, the luxury of time.
Time to do this once a month, correct?
Once a month, we can do this once a month. And yeah, how about we just introduce ourselves? How about you? Who are you? I know who you are. Who are you? How did you get here? Hopes, dreams, ambitions,
Anything.
anything.
Under the sun.
Anything you'd like to tell our audience today?
Yes. Well, my real name is Kazaya Medilo, but a lot of people mispronounce it. They call it like Keja, they're worse, believe me. But that's Kazaya, so I prefer my friends could call me, and my students as well, they can call me Miss Kesh Medilo, and I'm currently teaching EAPP, which of course now obviously one of my students' favorite subjects.
If you can't feel the sarcasm in
Yeah.
Miss Kesh's voice, that is sarcasm.
That's their favorite subject. It's not a burden. I'm kidding.
It's the easiest subject this semester. My gosh.
Yes. A lot of students would agree. Yeah, and why am I here? Well, because our coordinator, of course, asked me or tell me that we could be partner for this podcast, and my initial reaction is I'm really excited. I'm super excited to do this because I really want to, express myself. Audio, no. I'm not really into like video record myself because the vanity and everything. I look like a potato.
I'm a potato.
Because during last school year, right, we need to record our classes. So there are times that I recorded a lot of times, like 10 times already, because of my facial reaction. So I believe this is one of my comfort zone, and I'm really happy to do this with you, Ma'am Jade, one of the smartest person I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And let's just do this, have fun while doing this, so our audience could also have fun as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's your time to, of course, introduce yourself, and you are the lead for this program or podcast, the ambassador.
Let me just correct you there. It's the co-lead. We do share this activity, but in the first few episodes I will be taking the reins. But in the next few, I fully expect us to be full partners as well. Hi, I'm Miss Jade Domingo. My full name is too long to say on a podcast.
Yeah.
Zaya. Yes, my full name is Maria Lea Janelle I. Domingo. I was born and raised in the city of No. I was also told by Miss Pat, and the moment she told me, I was excited. I knew that this is something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you and I I know that casually you and I have great conversations as well.
Random
A lot of random conversations, and that's what. And by the miracle of His Lord Almighty, we this is part of our job now.
Yes.
It's part of we're getting paid for this.
Doing this.
Yeah, it's a dream come true because I agreed immediately, mainly because I love to talk. And you called me smart earlier. It's just I'm not. I don't consider myself as smart in that conventional sense. I just know a lot of things. So it. I will be entering a lot of random trivia into this podcast as much as I
Which
can.
is good.
Which is good
Yeah.
because we are trying to be more informational, more educational, but
It's not just entertaining.
yeah, that
stuff,
not
like-
just entertainment, but yeah, I will be bouncing from one topic to another, and Miss Kesh will be here to control that. Hopefully,
You'll be encountering different identities.
yes. Today I'm a complex human person.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm the evil twin in every in every soap opera you've ever watched. So yeah, that's basically who we are. Just two teachers from UNITA Christian Colleges. We were given this assignment, and we're just excited to teach people how to be good English speakers.
Yeah, and that is our goal, right?
Yes.
We, of course, on behalf of the team,
Yes.
why we
Yes.
came up with this program, the
So
Ambassadors.
that is So that is Ambassadors in a nutshell. It's this podcast. It's the two of us and a few guests that are going to come on in later episodes.
Yeah.
Just talking in English, speaking in English, and not having it be such a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's just casual conversations, candid conversations. Just people talking about things they like, things they're passionate about, which really excites me.
Yes.
It's a good way to expose people to the language and just get people talking about and opening a dialogue with our community. That's something I want to do. Do you have like any expectations for what we're doing here?
And expectations for this one, because I really love talking to people, to different kind of people. Now, there are some people who are so like they're serious. Why are they serious? No, I really want to know what's the twist in their lives. No, and there are people who are really talkative. I really want to discover new stuff about it. And I know this is a two-way relationship. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I will share something, what I know, and then I will learn something from our guests, eventually from you as well. Now, so of course we will. It is a benefit for the two of us, not just for the two of us, but for the others as well.
Yeah, I too am excited to learn a lot from you, of course, from our guests. A lot of people, you know this, maybe, and a lot of people don't. But I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge nerd, and I like learning. I'm excited about learning, and we watched that movie on Tuesday.
Yes, strange.
With Strange World. Strange
Yeah,
World. If you
good
haven't
one.
seen it yet, just give it a chance. It's so good. The message is so good. The plot is so good. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that plot twist at the end. If you know Terry Pratchett, he's a British author, I think. That's sort of one of the things he's famous for. That
Twist.
we all live on the back of that animal.
Oh.
So it's both a scientific
It's just
and a literary
Yeah.
plot twist. So I was excited, and I got to share my knowledge about Pando is a real life thing. He's a quaking aspen in America. And then this made me sad. Nothing to do with the podcast, by the way. Pando is dying.
Oh.
Real life Pando is dying, like in the movie, which isn't a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Okay, spoiler alert from this point on. We're going to talk about the movie. Yeah, Pando is dying in real life, and a lot of scientists are just trying to just find a way, because he's one big organism. So curing him, you need to cure all of the trees.
Yes.
So yeah. Again,
That's a good
nerd.
movie.
Again, one more thing about me being a nerd. I will insert as much trivia as I can.
Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy
Expect.
theories, expect them. Not to the level of, oh, we didn't go to the moon. We went to the moon.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, that's another thing about this podcast that I really like, is that aside from the conversations we'll be opening up essentially relationships with
Yes.
people. Because learning from someone and teaching them, that's sacred to us.
Yes,
We're
I-
teachers.
yeah. And for this one, no, our main goal also is for the students and the listeners to speak confidently using the
Yes.
language. Because if I'm going to ask you, why do you think they're afraid using the language? Because of course,
They're afraid of being judged.
yes, exactly.
Yes, there's always that stigma, we'll talk about it more later, but it's always this teasing. You speak English well. Ay, English
Like,
burger ka naman. Ay,
Carbs?
Rug.
These millennial terms,
Oh, yeah.
Gen Z
Yeah,
terms.
the
Goodness gracious, I'm really having a hard time understanding them.
the Gen Z term. My 8-year-old niece came up to me the other day, and apparently there's this thing going around where if you confront someone, for example, hey, you did this thing and I feel bad about it, and then they would say, oh really, just put it on a billboard.
Oh,
My 8-year-old niece, her friend told her that. Yesterday or the other day, she came up to me, is like, Tita, how much is a billboard?
I'm like, oh no.
You need a sword.
She took it literally.
Literally, because kids do that.
Yeah.
And she's 8. And
What's the context, by the way? Like, put it in a billboard.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
too.
don't know
If you
where it
can comment
came
on
from.
that.
Yeah. If you know where it came from and you're listening to this on YouTube,
Yes.
or just email us, ambassadors@gmail.com.
I'm not going to say our age, no. But
no,
obviously
no.
you know.
Yeah, if you're not going to say your age, I'm not gonna say mine. I'm older than you.
Yes.
I'm pushing the big 3-0.
One day, we can guest students, and then
Yes.
we can talk about
Yeah.
that, these terms.
Terms, these jokes,
Yes, these
just help two aging teachers understand
Yeah.
them.
Oh, come on. We want to be part of that.
Oh, you want to be part of the inside joke? Please.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So that's maybe one more thing I'd like to talk about that makes me really feel good about this, aside from the learnings and the relationships and the things we'll understand more about each other, is that our partnership, I'm really excited about it. We haven't had a chance to work together outside of EAPP. And I think this project will be good to get to know each other, although we do already know each other, because I've been pretty closed off for the past year or so, and I know
Well,
you
personal reasons.
for personal reasons that
That's
may or may not be revealed in the next few episodes.
So
Tune in to the entire season.
Exactly.
So maybe that's the motivation for them to tune in. What happened to Miss Jade?
Yeah. That's your
Yeah,
assignment.
that's it.
Kidding.
And I'm excited also for our audience to get to know us. Especially since a lot of people don't know me outside of being a teacher. there are people in this school who've known me for more than a decade who don't know my hobbies. They don't
Yeah.
know um they don't know a lot about, like, I know a lot because I read a lot,
Yes.
and a lot of them always ask me, "How do you know a lot?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Isn't it obvious?"
Sometimes it's just based on their assumptions. They
Yeah.
don't even like start a good conversation with you. They just assume that you know all. Yeah, of course. We know that you know a lot, but it's just that there's more than that. You know, there's more to know about you.
And I can say the same thing about you.
Yeah.
Because for the first time I met you and Miss Peach, who will be our next guest, by the way.
Yep.
Shout
out.
and shout out to Miss Peach, who I have not formally asked yet, but I know she'll agree.
She's excited by
She's
those.
excited, yes. The first time I met you and Peach, I thought you were very, I thought you were this very delicate, demure little thing. And I was like, oh, how am I going to approach her? Because I'm nothing like that. I'm very much, and everyone at school knows I'm very much a loud. I get called out for this. I'm loud. It's because I'm passionate. Uh, and then I got to know you over the next few years
During summers.
during our summer duty.
Summer duties.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I will not forget during your first year of summer duty, you, Miss K, I think Miss K was part of it. JV, Peach, you went ghost hunting. Essentially ghost hunting in the main building.
Didn't.
I mean, yeah, in your first year, you find out there's a little girl holding a sack. You wanna find this kid.
We're Ghostbusters.
But yeah, you and I was fascinated by just this wonder that your group had, and I said,
Those were the days.
yeah, and then EAPP took us in and just broke us.
Yes.
No.
We were happy back then. What happened? EAPP.
EAPP
happened.
It happened. It aged me 5 years. So every time I teach EAPP, I age 5 years, and I've been teaching it for 5 years, and I started for it when I was 25.
And
So
math. Okay.
I've been teaching it for 5 school years, and I started when I was around 25 or 24. So by the EAPP age, I'm 50.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you're
EAPP 2 years.
so yeah, you're plus 10. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to know you as well, and I hope you get to know me as well. Even though I am an open book.
Yeah.
There are some things I do keep hidden. Maybe they will be revealed.
Being an open book, no, because I have seen this meme that they're actually like puking when they share too much. So do you even like regret sharing too much to people or strangers like that, or people you didn't know that much? Because honestly, I'm not that open. I filtered out sometimes.
Yeah, and
Especially with the person I'm talking with. But with you, do you even regret sometimes sharing too much?
sometimes, yeah. It's this feeling of, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that
Yeah.
to someone. And sometimes, sort of, what do I say? The trust
Yeah.
is broken.
Yeah.
Because you think they would keep it to themselves. Then eventually you find out, oh, other people know now.
Yeah.
Especially with what happened to me last year. What happened to Miss Jade?
Another question.
Especially with what happened to me last year. And I started sort of opening up to people this year. Just informing people who should know.
Yes. What to expect?
I come to find out they already know. I mean, yeah, I never really made it clear to them that, hey, this is confidential, this is a secret, I don't want people knowing. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did share too much. I do actually share too much, but maybe that's something I also have to work on. Especially with this, I know that we have an audience. We need to filter. Um, uh, it's. I was told R13 at most.
Okay, R13.
R13 at most,
So if
because
you're 12 below,
so we can also appeal because it's if it's too kiddie, we won't appeal to our older target audience. But yeah, uh, I hope that we can uh, we can meet that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So that of course now as if you hear those parts, those are the reasons why we have this program, the Ambassadors Candid Conversation. And oh no, that's my I'm so sorry. That's a quack quack by the way.
She loves ducks. If we ever get fans from this, and you want to send us anything, she loves ducks.
Fit. I like quack quack. Oh,
Ducklings, in particular.
particular. And why should they listen to our podcast?
I hope they listen because it's fun.
Yeah.
I education, yes. Informational, yes. But just listen to be entertained.
Yes. And I hope they would listen out of interest.
Yes.
No, not because out of compliance.
Yes.
Their English teacher require them to listen to our
Listen to this, and you have a five item quiz in the morning.
Yes, listen
Yeah.
to it's like an ultimatum, no?
Yes.
Like if you're going to listen to this, then if you're not going to listen to this, then we're going to have a quiz. No, it's not like that. So I hope our audience will tune in to our podcast out of interest. And if they, of course, if they want to be part of this podcast, no, just send us an email or reach
Out to us
yes.
personally, especially if you're a teacher at school. I am not in the position to reject anyone. You said that you're grateful this isn't like videotape. I'm grateful too, because that self-esteem issue that goes up right when I see a camera. I don't even have selfies on my phone. I have selfies of me and my cat. If he does, because my cat sleeps on my chest sometimes. That's the only time I feel acceptable to have a selfie.
Yeah.
When my cat does something cute with me. Yeah. So
That's one trivia.
I'm and also I'm a little not embarrassed, but given that this will be published to there are certain people in our community who are very good at this setup, and I've essentially MacGyvered a lot of this. So I hope that it's not. I hope that I want us to grow to a point where there will be a video part of the podcast, but at that moment we need better equipment because right now it's just it's this little audio interface.
It's our humble
My
beginning.
laptop, it's our humble beginnings.
Yes.
I actually want to take a picture of this later,
Yes,
just
yes.
to remember who Mufasa, remember who you are.
No, like 2 or 3 years from now, we can have our own studio.
Yes.
No, hopefully
Um,
that's the goal.
The goal is
Yeah.
for the school to give us this job full time, and we will no longer no, that's a joke. I do another reason why I want people, which brings me up to another reason why I love, or why I would love for people to listen to this,
Yeah.
is because I love teaching.
Mhm.
And the more people who listen to us, the more people we get to teach.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
I know.
It's a cliche, but teaching, if I didn't love teaching, I would have left so long ago.
That easy.
The first struggle, out. I'm out.
Exactly. It's about passion.
Yes.
And in my case, really took a lot of time before I love this career or this job, because whenever I do a job, I of course put passion on it, like quality on doing it. And I really love teaching now, like 5 years. No, not really 5 years, but 3 years. After 3 years, I just realized that I love what I'm doing. Even though it's hard, it's not really easy, it's hard, but at least, I get to tell myself that I really love what I'm doing right now. That's passion.
Yeah, that's it's this. I remember this sort of poem wherein they say, "When all else fail,
Yeah.
passion will remain."
Exactly.
It was written by a friend of mine who was starting to. He's also a teacher. He had to leave the profession because, he realized that he was no longer passionate in it.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons, and maybe a lot of people know this. I resigned
Yeah.
back in 2019. I resigned, and because I felt this loss of passion. And as a teacher, you can't do that.
Yes.
I came to a point where I no longer cared about my students. I was just
okay.
going to work for the paycheck. And then I realized, oh, that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to be something that happens to you. So I resigned. I took a rest, and then I came back. And actually Miss Farah, Sir Rain, and Miss Kai and I, we have the same hiring date. So we all have the same hiring. We have the same hiring work anniversary here at school. And people who were here before I resigned, they all assumed, oh, you just resumed your years in teaching. No, I went back to zero.
Yes, exactly.
So when my batchmates, when they celebrate their 5th anniversary next year, I won't be part of that. But it's okay. It's okay because the school opened their arms to me. I'm treated so well here. The amount of bending over backwards some people in this school did for me after what happened last year. What happened to Mr.
Another question for you too.
Another
Just subscribe.
Another allusion to that ever mysterious event. I'm just really grateful, which is why they should also listen to this, because the people here are kind, interesting. I believe that this community will give us great stories. And as someone who writes and reads, stories are important, and I would love to share all of those stories.
Yeah, and that's the reason why there are a lot of teachers are still staying here. There are teachers, or not just teachers, but other employees who worked here for like 20 years, 25 years.
I think Ma'am Nenit came, Miss Nenit, who by the way only left because she had to retire.
Yes.
She turned 60 last school year. She stayed for I think 23 years. And it's at first it was sort of mysterious to me.
Yes.
Like how, because the other jobs I had, especially when I was in the CSR and in the BPO industry, I'm like, oh, these jobs are temporary. Yeah, the ex-cons. Shout out to my ex-cons there.
That one particular company.
That particular call center in Alabang. Yeah, it was mysterious to me. How they lasted that long. And then I came here, and then I got to know the people, and
you got to experience.
I got to experience what was happening and
firsthand. Yeah.
How this place takes care of you. And it's not the place. It feels like people are going to say, oh, they're saying this because they work there and they're getting paid. No, it's not, because they could and this is not a challenge, by the way, they could pay me half of what they pay me today.
Yep.
Which they did. The first time I started here, half
Okay.
of what I earned today. Or maybe a little more than half. I'm still here. I'm still doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
Because it's not just the place, it's not just the name, it's the people.
Yeah, and how they care about their employees.
Yes.
You know, I've read this quotation. I believe that's on Facebook as well. You know, I know I scroll a lot during my free time, and if you there's this quotation saying, if you care about your employees, your employee will take good care of your company as well. And I
Yes.
believe that's true.
Yes.
No, yeah, you know, the standards of the teachers, you know, how the heart of the teachers to teach these kids, right? The patience. Wow.
The
Speaking of patience, that's
Speaking
another
of
topic because we
patience.
need to share at least 2 hours for the patience
Yes.
alone.
That my favorite part of the day is dismissal. My favorite part of any class, anytime I have to take classes, is just the kids. They're my favorite part of this job.
Yeah.
Some of them are challenging. Most of them give me a migraine. But if I see one or two students that get me, that get what I'm trying to say, I'm good. Because exams, yeah,
Yep.
good on them. But I I also want to know that they learn something from me that they will then go
Yeah.
and use and just
Something to remember you
yeah.
by.
I always tell my students whenever because we have that topic in the APP of critical reading.
Yeah.
I always tell them, if you're reading a love story and that love story at any point seems unrealistic to you, put it down. Don't believe a word it says. Cinderella, what comes after happily ever after? Diba? Sleeping Beauty, diba?
Seriously? Kiss?
Yeah, she did not consent to that kiss. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk. Maybe there will be an episode of me just talking about the inconsistencies of Disney films, but that is not this episode.
That is not this episode as well.
Not today.
Not this
because
episode.
because this will be a 4-hour episode.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, it's just we can say a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons.
Valid reasons.
Valid reasons why people should listen to us, why we should have an audience, but it all comes down to we are trying to send messages.
Yes.
We are trying to tell stories so that people who listen to it can be exposed to this beautiful language.
Yes.
Because English is my first language. I learned to speak English better than I learned to speak Tagalog when I was a kid. And I don't know if this is true, but this is gonna sound real privileged. One of my nannies in the past told me,
Nannies.
one of my nannies in the past told me that I used to speak English really well, but I had, for some reason, adopted a Visayan accent whenever I would speak in Tagalog. So they didn't know where it came from. But
It's natural.
we don't know how. It just sort of I grew out of it,
Yeah.
obviously, but they were afraid that I wouldn't learn to speak Tagalog properly. But yeah, I think it's because I was exposed to so much English. I grew up watching Disney.
Your parents.
My parents tried to talk to me in English. I owe a lot to my aunt. My aunt Joan. She really made a point to teach us English.
Wow.
And now she says, "Oh, she's better than me,"
Yeah.
and I am.
And I hope our audience will understand and appreciate how beautiful the language is.
Yes, because it's such an amazing language. It's
Yeah.
a universal language for a reason. Um, in terms of grammar, yes, we can deal with that later.
Yes.
But
Critical, right?
fluency and just the confidence to speak in
speak, yeah.
English, I got all of that from just exposing myself, from people just talking to me.
Yep. And yeah, not Friends. No, you know what I'm talking about. Friends, like the series. No, I really watch. I really love rather watching that series.
So
Yeah,
yeah, same with me. I loved watching English
sitcoms.
growing up. I watched Friends. Make me sound old. I watched Friends as a kid. In elementary school, when you have cable, we had cable,
Yep.
and we would. There's this channel, I think Star World, and every, I think, 5:30 to 6 p.m. After the animes, after the animes and before the
What's
that's
that?
my alarm. That's the room where it happens, Hamilton. Yeah. So just in that time period between news and animes, that's when we would watch Friends on cable, and I would always try to talk like them. I Because imitation,
Yeah.
some people learn by imitation, and since I was a kid, I learned by imitation as well.
Yes.
So that's something that I want our audience to also try and learn, is that if you're not confident now, maybe exposure
Yes.
will help you.
I think the problem is that other people would like tease them and they're like what we said earlier, they would tease other people would tease them when they speak in English, especially in public, right? Yeah. I think that what hinders them to speak
Yeah.
the language.
Yeah, there is this stigma
Yeah.
of people who speak in English and just being teased, and it's a shame because people the Filipino tongue, Filipino Tagalog is quite similar in cadence. It's quite similar in not vocabulary, in the logic of its grammar. It's very similar to English, and some dialects in Filipino are also quite similar. But yeah, there's this teasing going on, and if every Filipino could speak English as fluently as you or I could, we would run the world.
Yeah. Yes. Beyonce.
Shout out to Beyonce. Yeah. Yeah, because it's this great language that really opens doors. For a long time, and this is still true, I thought that a lot of people think I'm smart because I speak good English. Sorry, I speak English well. And
And people are saying like English should not be the parameter of being
yes,
knowledge.
it's not.
But yeah, I know it's not. But of course, you're trying to express yourself using the language. You know, so I think
It's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
of uh I'm lucky enough to be both smart and good at English. But yeah, it opens doors for you as well, because job interviews are mostly conducted in English.
Yep.
Defenses are mostly conducted.
defenses.
Defenses.
Mention that again. Shut up.
December 5 to 9.
5 to 9.
Children and I will be
Hello, shout out to all the yums out there.
shout out to all the Yums, and shout out to Miss Jessel, who I still blame for for this predicament.
Oh no.
No, I don't blame her. The girl got married. This is my wedding gift to her. This and the pot I gave her at her wedding. Yeah, congratulations, by the way, to Sir Carl and Miss Jessel.
But, ah, please don't get
Please,
baby too soon.
yes, enjoy being with each other. Yeah, the defenses. Yeah, it just opens doors for you. I
lot of
know I
good
got this job
opportunities. Yes.
because I'm good at English, and I hope that's something that our audience sees as well. The value
Yes.
of knowing this,
And
of,
use, yep.
of using it in everyday conversation. I talk to myself. If I can't talk to other people, I practice what I'm part of Toastmasters, as you know, and I often give speeches.
Next
And
time we will explain to our audience what Toastmaster is.
Um,
Why we are, or some of the teachers are doing Toastmasters. No?
yeah, there will be. I think if we get our current president, club president, Sir Jerome, on here, we can talk about that. Or Miss Faye. Miss Faye is quite far in her progress in Toastmasters. I think she's finished 2 or 3 pathways already, which is like the educational program for the clubs. I'm about to finish mine. I'm one speech away. I'm hoping to finish it by January so that we can credit it to, because there are things with the clubs, and I was a president before Jerome. It was me.
Oh, okay.
So as immediate past president, I'm still concerned with like club achievements, things like that. So yeah, anyway, this is what I was talking about. We will get into tangents. And those tangents, because if we stick to the script, it's going to be a 5-minute episode.
Exactly. If we stick to the script, we need to end right now.
Yeah, we need to end right now. But yeah, that's the danger of this podcast. We will keep talking. So yeah, how do I say this? Whenever I have a speech, I practice in front of the mirror. Or I
I
record
do that too.
myself. Yeah, I record myself, or I videotape myself, because it gives me confidence. I think RuPaul said it, if you can't say it in front of yourself, how are you going to say it in front of anybody else?
I know. And I think the most important part there is the initiative to do it.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the motivation or the initiative to do it or speak the language, then you're not going to speak it at all.
So I hope anyone who listens to this is motivated.
Yeah, motivated.
To be like us. I've never wanted to be a role model.
Or better than us.
Oh yes.
That's the goal.
Let me be your challenge. Get better than me.
Yes.
Diba? I'm still learning, which excites me. But there are times when I really feel like, oh, I've reached the end. I know enough about English. I know enough about speaking. My vocabulary is wide enough. And then I hear something new, or I read something new, and it ignites that
Yes.
that passion to just explore such a wonderful language. By the way, trivia, the word moment. The word moment. It's an outdated word because we have minute. Minute is 60 seconds.
Yes.
Moment is 90 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, it's an outdated word for 90 seconds.
Wow.
I learned
That's
that
a moment.
a few years ago when I was just scrolling through Twitter, and I confirmed it because of course you don't believe everything you see online.
Okay.
You fact check everything.
All right. Yeah.
I fact checked. It's real.
So
It's
when
an
someone
outdated word for
90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Hey, give me a moment,"
Can I have a
then you
moment?
have 90 seconds. Of course, now it's not the standard.
I was about to say that. Can I have a moment? Okay, I'll give you 90 seconds.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. It's such a fascinating, beautiful language. I can spend hours on etymology alone,
Yeah.
on just the origin of words.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Yes.
Which is why I love it.
Yeah. If anything is easy, no, there's no challenge at all.
Nothing worth having
Comes easy.
comes easy. Yeah, that old cliche.
So
Nothing worth they what's that? The exact words of that I saw it on Facebook.
Nothing worth comes having easy. I'm sorry.
Nothing worth having
Noth-
comes easy, or they didn't say it would be easy, they just said it would be worth it.
Yes, exactly.
Diba? My degree. I'm also excited because I'm using just my degree here.
Yeah.
BSE, major in English. I'm sure we. Fun fact: Miss Kesh and I come from the same school system.
Yep. Hail
Hail alma mater, dear. CVSU all the way through. The CVSU graduates in this school. Have you counted all of us? It's
lost
like
count already.
It's like we're building an annex here, and I'm not even kidding.
We are a product of public school.
Yes, I'm. A lot of people. That's also something I'd like to promote here. Is that, hey, public school students.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't believe me when I was in college that I graduated from public school. I graduated from the same school Miss J graduated from, Miss Miss JV graduated from that
Yes.
school. It's Imus National High School. Sir John Ray came from that school.
Yeah. Who else?
Who
Well,
else?
there are a lot of teachers who graduated in public school.
Yeah, we.
Nearly that university. Yeah. KABSU. We are really a product of that school.
Yes.
We learned how to thrive and
Yes.
what do you call this?
In KABSU, and if you don't know this about KABSU, I don't think the other generations have felt this, but in KABSU, we are forged in heat. Miss Kesh came from the Silang campus. Silang is cold, but that campus is still hot.
Really hot.
We don't know how, but for some reason, all campuses are hot. I think it's how the buildings are built. They're just, oh, this is the way the wind is blowing. We'll oppose that.
Yes. And
Sorry, that's my mom.
I'm sorry you already.
Telling me. Yeah.
To be resilient.
Yeah. Public school taught me resilience.
Yes.
Because people in public school, they do not care. And unfortunately, a lot of teachers also do not care. And I hope that changes. That's why my students here, most of our students here came from public school. I tell them, look at you. Look at how resilient you are.
Yes.
Look at how strong you are. Because they complain about the heat. I always joke to them, you've experienced this. You've experienced this for so long.
Yes.
Uh,
Exactly.
Kabsu Emos really did.
It molds you. It molds you.
It's a heat that changes you.
Yeah.
But also now
Better.
I'm spoiled because I have my own room now. And if that air conditioning is not cold enough that I am at risk for frostbite, it's not cold enough. If I am not shivering, if I feel warm under my comforter, it needs to be cranked up.
It's not cold
It's
enough.
not cold enough. I've been spoiled. I can't take the heat anymore. But yeah, my doctor says it's also the age. Again.
What happened with Mom J?
No, that has nothing to do with what happened. It's just I'm getting older and my skin is not as supple and resilient as it was. So yeah, would you like to give any last reasoning, rationale,
I believe,
remind to why they should listen to us?
yes, I believe I have mentioned everything already that I want to know our audience why they should listen to our podcast for this one. And yeah, I would like to point out as well. I hope they will have the initiative as well now to listen to this, and they can listen this anytime, anywhere, right? It's not okay, not because of, again, not because of compliance. I don't want them to listen to this out of burden, you know. I want them to listen to our podcast because they want it. They want to listen. And they want to be part of this.
Um, yeah, that's basically what I have to say too. And of course, if you're not going to listen to learn English, at least listen to hear all of the stories that the people we're going to talk to, that we're going to
Yes.
tell, because I teach this in my creative writing class. Stories are important because they give us good truths, bad truths, and they give us a sense that we are not alone.
Yes, exactly.
And certain stories, like my own, yours,
Yes.
there's some kid, a
Out there.
student,
Yeah.
maybe a co-teacher of ours, a parent, someone in this community who will relate to that story, who will be
Yes.
inspired by that
Yes,
story.
exactly.
So if you don't want to listen to us to learn English, listen to us because you want to hear good stories.
Good stories. And your story is not a secret to be kept.
Yes.
So just do not let it die.
Yes.
Because it's very important, no? When
Yes.
they see you, when people see you, that's our story. That's a good one. Now, what is your story? If you are sitting or sleeping, I don't know. If you're lying on your bed right now, listening to this podcast. If you're cooking, no, whatever it is that you're doing,
If
that's
you're,
the question.
if you're on your commute to work,
Yeah, if you're on a commute to work, if you're doing your homeworks, your activities, your missing tasks, no?
hey, shout out to all of my students with missing tasks. Just listen to this. Listen to my voice.
Yeah.
Motivate you to do your tasks.
And yeah, and that's what's your story? That's my question. What is your story? And again, your story is not a secret to be kept. So let other people hear it.
Yes. So beautifully said. So, where can they find us? And where can they listen to this podcast?
Where?
There. So yeah, I think I think that's my part. That's my cue. We will work on publishing this on YouTube.
Yep.
Without video, so it'll just be audio on a simple
For now.
background, or what we call a card
Yep.
of our logo or something like that. And we've been graced by having this on Spotify as well. This will be available on Spotify, eventually on Google Podcasts if the setup, because you have to publish it somewhere else and get what is called an RSS feed. It's a whole thing, and if we grow enough, maybe possibly Apple Podcasts. Just this is our humble beginnings.
Yes. this is
And
our
I
humble
hope
beginning.
that everyone listening now will keep tuning in, will keep listening to the stories, will learn not just to speak English, but from the stories that we're going to tell.
Yes. And send us a message.
And send us a message.
Please.
Tell us who you want. Tell us who you want to be our guests.
Yep.
Ambassadors.
Pics.
The topics. So our email, I said it earlier, ambassadors@gmail.com, spelled like it is on the title of the podcast. And yeah, just give us suggestions, ask us questions. Okay, so with that, let's go on to, and this is a segment. This is our only programmed segment. We are going to launch the wheel of names.
It's just like I'm in a pageant again.
So, by the way, Miss Kesh is our Miss UCC 2021. Yes. Hopefully we'll get a soundboard. So let's before we go, let's answer what is called for this segment called question of the month. So I'll spin this wheel and it will give us the question of the month. Okay.
I'm quite nervous for this one.
Me too, because these are just random questions.
Not
picked
math,
up.
please.
Oh, there's no math. We're both English teachers. Okay.
Okay.
So, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait someone would need?
Oh, wow.
I think in life in general. So, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait someone would need?
Okay, should I answer it first? Or
Yeah, you go first.
over the past few years, I just realized that people need to be more kind, not only to yours and to others, but also to yourself. My friend always told me this, that whenever I feel disappointed, no, because there are a lot of things that I wanted to do, because of course I'm on my silver year already, so you know what my age is. So I really wanted to achieve a lot, no, because of my age and the time frame, because I'm no longer, of course, I'm hitting the age already where I wanted to settle down. And I just realized that, thank God they tell me this. They always tell me, they remind me to not be, to be kind to yourself, no, and not to be too hard, no. And also, of course, you also need to be kind to others, because a lot of people are facing silent battles that, of course, silent, we do not know about. So always remember that we have to show compassion to one another. And yeah, I believe that is what I realized the most important trait that person should have. No, that's we were going to discuss about share about this more about our pet peeves
Yeah.
to people, no, and yeah, that's what I want to share.
Yeah, piggybacking on that, because kindness is also my answer. Self-preservation
Yeah.
is also something very important. You need to be kind to yourself enough that you protect yourself from this world, because the world is so unkind, and unfortunately a lot of people wake up and they don't choose kindness, and they choose violence. And so you need to be able to preserve little bits of yourself every day, so when you're tired you have something to hold on to.
Yep.
So aside from kindness, just that thing, or that the act of self-preservation, and just yun nga, a lot of people tell us, this has been like viral, don't give everything away.
Yes, that's
Give
true.
keep the most for yourself.
Yeah, millennials,
Yeah.
Gen Zs listen to
Yeah,
this.
because they always there's always this of love demands sacrifice, and if you love me you'll do this, and
Like an ultimatum.
yeah, don't. And if people give you ultimatums for their love, that's not the right kind of love you should be having. And something that I've unfortunately learned the hard way is giving your all to a cause, to a person, to just a belief.
Mhm.
It corrodes you,
I agree.
and you need that self-preservation, because losing yourself is something that, it was in Hunger Games, it takes 6 times as long to build you back up
Yeah,
than
I
it
like
is to
that
tear you
part.
down.
Mhm.
And it's the same with losing yourself. If you lose yourself, you wake up one day and you feel like a stranger in your own body.
Like this new
It
skin, you
takes so long to relearn who you are.
Yes. Gen Z's listen.
Gen Z's listen. If you don't want to listen to Miss Jade, read The Giving Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that entire book is just about that self-preservation, not giving too much of yourself away.
Yep.
It's keeping something for yourself. Because it's also a sign of being kind to yourself.
Yes.
Because how can you
yes.
be so kind to others without being kind to yourself, as well?
Yep.
Yeah, that was also something I had to learn.
Yeah. And speaking of books, what I'm reading right now is it's a motivational book, a self-help book titled I Decided to Live as Me. So it's a really good book.
Yes.
It's a really good book. So I hope if you do have the copy, no, yeah, I encourage you to read that book.
Aside from concept papers and researches,
No.
I'm currently reading I Want to Kill Myself, Help Me.
That sounds brutal.
It sounds brutal. I say I'm currently reading it. I've downloaded it on my phone. I have yet to open it. But but from what I hear, it's this self-help book for survivors, really.
Yes.
For people who are at that point in their life where the Gen Z jokes, the dark humor jokes of wanting to step in front of the bus are a little too, are a little too.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll talk more about book recommendations
Yes,
and literature recommendations in our next episode. Yep. Where we'll have.
By the way.
So where we'll have Miss Pau, Miss Peach here, and
So excited for our episode 1.
it's episode 1. So this is episode 0. This is our pilot.
Episode?
Um,
This is just pilot, by the way.
by the way, we've been recording for an hour.
Wow.
It would suck if the audio was bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I feel it. According to the waves here, everything seems to be in order. So yeah, I think aside from just finding us on the different social media, I think the link for this will be shared through the UCC official page. So make sure to follow that if you want updates on us. Of course, you can find us and subscribe to the Uhmbassadors Spotify page as well. You can find that on Spotify as soon as this first episode is published.
We're going to launch this when?
Monday.
On Monday.
I'll edit it. I'm editing it through the weekend, and then we'll do it Monday. So that's it. Do you have any last words for us?
I'm afraid to share my last word because it would take me another hour. It would take us another hour to share. But yeah, I'm so super happy that we did this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, let's just hope no one opens up like, I don't know, Star Wars or Disney, because this will be a 3-hour episode.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, I think my final words are stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay negative on COVID.
And we will see you when we see you.
Yep.
Goodbye and thank you.